See, that's one of the reasons why we all split up. I'm talking about the Nation of Islam. The registered Muslims and the non-registered Muslims are split up. The non-registered Muslims, some of them are following the white man's Christianity. My mother was one. Like I told you in the previous videos, I spent in my early years, in my birth, in my mother's pregnancy with me, I was listening to the teachings of my uncle and Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. My mother joined when I was a baby, took me to the meetings, because I remember some of those meetings. I remember going to somewhere out of Detroit, Ypsilanti, or somewhere, could have been St. Clair Shores or something. It was somewhere on the east side that brothers had settled, the Nation of Islam had settled. And I went to a it was a sister was having a meeting, and some of the ministers was there, looking at the children, the young children, looking at me. I was real young, I could have been about 4 or 5 or whatever. And they was sizing the children up, saying what we gonna be, you know. We gonna be something great, you know. This child gonna be that child. I remember this, and remember one picked me out and said something just about me, and I remember that. I was young, but at the age of 7, my mother stopped going and took me out and went back into Satan's world. She just didn't go back. She just didn't go back and kept the practice up, the teachings up. But she went back and stopped doing how to eat to live, fell in love with the white man, and I never did get a chance to go to the schools, the University of Islam. Never did get a chance to go there, but I hung around my uncle a whole lot, Uncle Aziz, who was a FOI lieutenant or something, and I remember Brother Limnio. I seen him close up. Minister Limnio. He was the minister over my uncle in Detroit, Temple Number 1. I remember that. And so when we come out our mother's stomach and she's in the devil's world, we still Muslims, but we taking on the ways of the devil, of Satan. We taking on his ways. My mother, she became an agent of the devil, and my father also was an agent of the devil. They stayed together for 60, almost 70 years before they, made their transition. But they never did go back to those teachings. And I was like on the outside looking in. But the crazy thing about it, my uncles, Aziz's children, they was brought up in it, brought up, they graduated from the University of Islam, but when they went to the public schools, they got like everybody else. And even though they knew the teachings, they didn't practice them. Because see, once you get those teachings, you're supposed to be trying to build a, a world for yourself, even though you ain't got the land. But see, the thing about Detroit was 87% black, and it had been a large amount of the brothers and sisters here. The original man knew the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Berry Gordy studied some of the teachers. Stevie Wonder. Uh, it was a lot. I'm not gonna waste time saying how many. But we had a black mayor, Mayor Coleman Young, that was for the people, for his people. So ain't no more excuses here in Detroit. We either gonna get back on our throne where we belong, or we gonna go down with the whitey. I don't care. You could be uh, uh, teaching Elijah, but you ain't doing Elijah. So here in Detroit, the Satan built him a temple here in Detroit. Satan. Y'all heard about that. Black light.